start to tell a bit of a difference between the process of the Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo, how that happened, the process, and in the Academy of Science in Stockholm. Obviously, there are major differences. Difference in the sense that the Academy of Sciences, yes, you have to produce irrefutable data for many years, and there is no possibility of interference, lobby, petitions, and so on. Over the years, of course, I became very familiar with the Nobel Peace Prize. Of course, the Nobel Committee also paid the Norwegians are very independent-minded people. And they absolutely reject pressure. But sometimes the Norwegian government in the past put enormous pressure on the Nobel Committee to award in one particular year the prize to a particular group. In this case, I'm not sharing any secret. You might recall when the Nobel Committee gave the award to Yitzhak Rabin, Shimon Peres, and Arafat. That was an uproar and split in the Nobel Committee. And I do not go much more into details. And that happened in 94. In 94, the Nobel Committee, as always secretly, had made already a decision. Usually by August, they make the decision. And the decision was not to the three from Palestine and Israel. It was to another person. I will not enter into details here. And one member of the Peace Committee, Nobel Peace Committee, called Christensen, he was the one who publicly dissented and resigned from the committee. He was very angry that the Norwegian government intervened forcefully to award that year, 94, to Yitzhak Rabin, Shimon Peres, and Arafat. I don't comment on the merit of the three. I think they were all very courageous in doing what they did. But that the Nobel Committee how to pressure, maybe understandably, on the Norwegian government. Because it's believed that sometimes the peace process requires the Peace Prize to push the process ahead. So one day I was in Oslo after the 96 award that went to me and Bishop Bell. I was sitting on the sidewalk in Oslo, and the next day the front page news said Christensen, referring to the one who resigned, now he's happy. He forgave the Nobel Committee because his favorite nominee got the prize. Again, I'm not saying who. But in 95, I went to Norway a few times, and mindful that you cannot lobby, I was always extremely careful. And in going there, I intended only to try to draw attention to Timor and to the Church of Timor and to the role of the bishop. To my surprise, one of the prominent members of the Nobel Committee agreed to talk with me. And he came to my hotel, the cheapest hotel in Oslo. The cheapest in Oslo, it would be like 4-star in Timor-Leste, in Bali. And at the time I was not very well known. And the Nobel Committee member he came. Today I can say his name, Gunnar Stolze. For many years, Vice President of the Nobel Committee, Lutheran Bishop of Oslo, and so on. I was so surprised that you come to my hotel to see a humble Timorese. And I was in full attention, vigilance, so telling myself, don't make any mistake, don't appear to be lobbying for things. I was aware that would be his last word. So, and Gunnar Stolze at that time, he himself, he was actively mediating the conflict in Guatemala. No, I pretended I wanted to learn about the conflict in Guatemala. And I asked him questions about his role in Guatemala. He was totally surprised. And he explained. And then after 15-20 minutes, he asked me about Timor-Leste. And I was careful, I talked generally. Then he asked about the church. I talked about the role of the church. And then he asked about Bishop Valley, and I talked about Bishop Valley. And that was in, still was in 95. In 95, the media in Norway, the day before the announcement, they were all talking about front page. Bishop Valley was, I was not, no mention of me. The Bishop Valley, the church, front page, and Norwegian media. That he was going to be the winner. On the photo, there was Jimmy Carter and some other people. The Bishop of Chiapas, Mexico, and so on. And but I was there, I was known already to some media, they knew that somehow I'm connected with the church, with the bishop, whatever. So, and the people who know firsthand who is going to win that money is the NRK, Norwegian Broadcasting Television. So they called me in a hotel. Can you come 8 a.m. to our studio near the Nobel meeting? So I went. There were so many journalists, and they will say, please, when after the announcement, you talk to us. And I said, listen, how do you know that it's going to be? We are going to win the prize. Yeah, and I gave all you just because. Well, that was 95. The announcement came. It was not for us. It was for the Pagwash group. You're probably familiar. The Pagwash Conference of Nuclear Scientists, etc. Pagwash is a small town somewhere in Canada where this group, they meet over here since the 50s or so to talk about nuclear war, prevention, so they go out there. And those who won the prize, they were like, each of them like 8 years old. And I needed, so when I came out, well, I didn't have an interview with them. Not a single journalist was there. And I was with one person, and that person was the one that promoted me a lot without telling me. Young people, in the 80s, everybody would know about him. Morten Harket, the lead singer of the rock group called Aha. In the 80s, they sold more records than the Beatles. So he was the one who promoted it. So I was with him. And I told him, Morten, I'm not coming ever again to Norway. When you lose, oh, you feel so lonely. And I was alone in the winter in Oslo. It is dark by 4 p.m. It's already dark. And I was alone in my hotel. So, in 96, September of 96, I was running a course that I created in the University of Wales in Sydney, and for diplomas in Himalaya. I told my co-director, my deputy, Laksiri Fernand from Sri Lanka, I said, Laksiri, I'm not coming tomorrow. That was Thursday. I told him tomorrow, Friday, I'm not coming. I'm going to play tennis this weekend. And of course, Laksiri, since I didn't come, he also decided not to come. The Nobel Committee, they always phone you. You probably know, they phone the winner a few hours in advance, to alert you on the prize. Well, they had only my office number at the university. They go, no one answered. Friday, I was home, very miserable apartment in suburb of Sydney, very poor. The phone rang. I was babysitting a niece. She was only 3 years old. She'd never leave me alone. And we were alone in her house. I moved 1 meter away. She said, Uncle, where you going? I go to the left. Uncle, where you going? Followed me everywhere. And the phone rang. I went to the phone. And Portuguese journalist, Luis Nascimento from Antena Room, I think, in Lisbon, he said, Mr. Ramos, he won the Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize. President Sampaio, the leading government, everybody online to comment. Please, can you comment? I said, wait a minute. So, anyway, the day before, a good friend from Washington called me. You said, what do you think? Who is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize? I told him, no, I don't care. They can give to anyone they want, a whole list of people. I want to hear about it. Because I had enough of the previous year of this assistant. But then I nominated, over here, nominated some people. I nominated Mohammed Yunus. He came to Timor before he won the prize. He won in 2006, so 2006. I nominated 2-3 times. I nominated President Kim Dae-jung from Korea. He had been nominated many times, but never got it. And I knew how you frame the argument. Why Kim Dae-jung and why now? He won the election in December 97. I nominated, I think, 2002 or 3 or 1, I don't remember now. Sitting in a hotel room in Oslo, in Seoul, with his assistant, Professor Andrew Kim, and we wrote the nomination. And he won. Kim Dae-jung insisted that I go with him to Oslo. But the meeting then invited me. As you know, they never invite presidents. That year they invited me to join Kim Dae-jung. During the banquet, with the king, with everybody, one member of the meeting turned to me and asked, would you nominate Jimmy Carter? I know why they asked that question. Jimmy Carter had been nominated many times, but never got it, because of the problem of the. When Jimmy Carter took office in 76, in the election then, weapons sales to Indonesia increased by more than 100%. And Noam Chomsky, many of you know, from MIT, English, dedicated so many years of his life to Timor, and he campaigned and denouncing Jimmy Carter. And the lady asked me, would you nominate Jimmy Carter? I knew why the question. And I said, why not? I cannot judge a person for some wrong in his policy. Besides, so I called the Carter Center in Atlanta. I said, please send me information about the post-presidency, the White House, the post-presidency, what Jimmy Carter did in mediation, in promoting democracy, human rights, the Carter Human Rights Center in Atlanta, I nominated, and that year he got the prize. So anyway, this is just not to say a bit of the